Precise stitching is always at your fingertips with the patented hand crank design of the Master Tools Cub. This machine is built using the finest materials, skilled American workmanship, and finishing touches for dependable performance you can count on project after project. Learn about the Master Tools Cub in this video that features an overview of the machine's parts, threading and stitching instructions, troubleshooting tips, and more. You will find the following in your box: a completely assembled Master Tools Cub sewing machine, thread holder, 2 4-ounce spools of white thread, thread nipper, bobbin winder, 2 bobbins, 1 pack of 794S 200 needles, Allen wrenches, mounting hardware, and the owner's manual. Let's start by getting familiar with the parts of the machine we'll be referencing throughout this video. Hand crank flywheel, tensioner, jump foot adjustment, needle bar, top thread eyelet, check spring, thread guides, foot lift lever, foot, needle, thread cutter, stitch length dial, shuttle, thread stand. Do not operate this machine until you have read and fully understand the instructions in the owner's manual that accompanies the machine. This video is meant to be a companion resource to the written instructions. The Master Tools Cub is designed for stitching up to 3/4 inch leather, nylon, and canvas. Use for any other purpose voids the limited lifetime guarantee. Never use this machine unless it is securely fastened to a workbench. Simply secure the machine to your workbench with the included mounting hardware. Always keep all fingers and body parts away from moving parts. Keep in mind that this machine weighs 60 pounds. Always use proper lifting techniques when moving it and verify stability before use. Keep the machine away from children at all times. First, run thread from the spool on the thread stand to tensioner eyelet 1. Pull the thread between the tensioner discs as shown. Then, run the thread through tensioner eyelet 2. Continue by running thread through the top thread eyelet, the top of the needle bar, and through the top hole in the side plate. Then, run thread through the check spring, the bottom thread guide, and the top thread guide located on the side plate. To complete threading your machine, run thread through the bottom of your needle bar and your needle. Then, pull the thread under the foot and to the rear. The Master Tools Cub comes with a bobbin winder that attaches to an electric drill to help you easily wind bobbins. To use the bobbin winder, bring the thread from the spool and insert it through the split end of the bobbin winder. Then, place the bobbin on the bobbin winder. With light tension on the thread, turn the drill over slowly, allowing the bobbin to wind evenly. Turn machine over until bobbin case sets in the position shown. Pull the tab upwards to remove the bobbin case. Slip the thread from the bobbin into the slot at the base of the bobbin case. Continue pulling thread under the tension spring until it rests in the fork of the spring. Then, pull the bobbin thread up through the hole in the plate and under the foot to the rear. The bobbin should always be inserted so thread unwinds counterclockwise to ensure consistent tension. Begin by lifting the presser foot by raising the foot lift lever located directly behind it. Hold the upper thread and bottom thread under the presser foot and to the rear. Insert your work under the foot, positioning it so that the needle is directly above the desired entry point for your first stitch. While still holding the thread to the rear, lower the foot and turn the crank to complete your first few stitches. After the stitches are made, you can release the thread. This machine does not have reverse. Do not attempt to turn the crank in reverse or back stitch. You may choose to turn your work and take a forward stitch for a back stitch, or tie the thread off manually. Locate the stitch length dial on the front of the machine. For a longer stitch, turn the dial counterclockwise. For a shorter stitch length, turn the dial clockwise. It's important to remember that your work should be turned before your needle exits the material on corners. You'll want to raise the presser foot slightly, pivot your work to the new position, and resume stitching. Thread tension on the Master Tools Cub is controlled primarily from the upper thread tension. As needed, turn the tension assembly nut clockwise to tighten the tension, or counterclockwise to loosen the tension. When the knot is on top of the material, the top tension is likely too tight. Turn the tension assembly nut counterclockwise to loosen tension. When knot is on the bottom of the material, the top tension is probably too loose. Turn tension assembly nut clockwise to tighten tension. When thread tension is correct, the needle and bobbin threads are equally drawn into the material, resulting in a perfect stitch. The bobbin tension rarely needs adjusted, even when you are using varying sizes of thread. The rule of thumb is that the bobbin thread tension is always less than the upper thread tension. If you find you need to adjust bobbin tension, begin by loosening the lock screw. Failure to loosen the lock screw may result in a broken screw or damage to the bobbin case. Turn adjusting screw clockwise to tighten tension, or counterclockwise to loosen tension. Tighten the lock screw when proper tension has been established. Loosen the needle screw with the Allen wrench provided and remove the old needle. Then, insert the new needle. You should be able to see it in the round opening of the needle bar. Be sure the new needle is positioned correctly with the scarf facing to the right. If you experience sewing difficulties, including skipped stitches, failure to pick up the bobbin thread, and frayed thread, try changing your needle. A bent or dull needle may be responsible. To ensure you have the correct needle for the thread you are using, please refer to the needle and thread chart in the next segment. The Master Tools Cub uses 794S, 794LR, and 7X3 system needles. 794S chisel point and 794LR twisted chisel point needles are recommended for leather or non-woven materials. 7X3 round point needles are recommended for woven materials. When ordering needles, indicate 794S or 794LR for leather or 7X3 for nylon. We recommend Schmetz brand needles for superior performance. Be sure to use the correct needle for the thread being used. The Master Tools Cub is designed to be a trouble-free machine. As with any machine, issues may arise from time to time, and this segment covers the most common things you may encounter. The Master Tools Cub, like all sewing machines, must be threaded properly and used with the correct needle and thread combination. Because of its unique design, the Master Tools Cub reacts a little differently to improper threading. The thread may catch on the hook and the machine will jam. Do not attempt to free thread by cranking over the machine. The spring-loaded shuttle hook must be freed first. Start by cutting and cleaning out the misplaced thread. The hook should then snap back into place. If this fails, loosen the two race cover screws until the hook has snapped back. Do not remove the race cover. After the hook is back in place, retighten the race cover. Never operate the machine with the presser foot raised. If you think your machine's timing is off, please call one of our machinery experts at 1-800-932-8371. Their extension can be found in the description of this video as well as in your owner's manual. We'll be glad to talk it through with you and determine if your machine's timing needs adjusted. If your thread balloons out excessively, loosen the check spring screw and move the check spring as shown. Adjust check spring only enough to eliminate most of the ballooning, as too much check spring travel may cause early spring fatigue and failure. You may find it easier to transport the Master Tools Cub without its flywheel attached. The flywheel can easily be removed after loosening the bolts with a 3/16" Allen wrench. To reattach the flywheel, locate the flat sides on the flywheel shaft. Slide the flywheel on the flywheel shaft, making sure to line up the bolts with the flat sides on the flywheel shaft. Tighten the bolts using a 3/16" Allen wrench. We recommend greasing the Master Tools Cub monthly with high-pressure bearing grease and oiling it after every 8 hours of use with Lily stitching oil. A complete diagram of locations to oil and grease on your machine can be found in the owner's manual. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the Master Tools Cub. This machine is designed to provide you with years of reliable service. If you have any additional questions, please give one of our machinery experts a call at 1-800-932-8371.